Alright, who's ready for some Westfall? Nobody? Well, screw you then. We're not doing Westfall ever again. Ever. Not even on an insect like this one. Because, see, we're on an insect. And we've got insect-like features with her. Moving on. I wonder if we're alive. There's only one way to tell. That's to stand here while the CSI scene happens. Looks like they really put the cart, put on glasses, before the horse. I do like the crime scene alarmo bots that the gnomes have apparently given them. So, yeah. Anyone remember old Blanchy? I remember old Blanchy. I feel really sad for old Blanchy. Not these two. These two people who can just go burn. But old Blanchy, yeah. Here's the deal, big kid. We've got a single full-blown murder on our hands. Double homicide, single horsicide. Worse yet, we're in Westfall. I can throw a rock behind me and hit a dozen hobos with motive enough to want to wipe these people, and horse, out. And I don't know who did this, and I sure don't appreciate having to come to this dump to investigate the deaths of a couple of squatters. But I'll be damned if I don't find the perp. You want to help? Go find some bums. I do feel bad about Blanchy. So welcome to Westfall. This place is completely screwed. No, seriously. I'm a little surprised they haven't tried to just burn the place to the ground yet. It might be the best possible option, given the circumstances. As you can see, there are a lot of homeless people here. Most of whom actually came from Stormwind. Notice the moment we kill someone, a bunch of kids run up to steal all their stuff. Yeah. You thought I was kidding back in Northrend when I commented on how incredibly badly Stormwind was being managed back behind the lines, didn't you? Or where do you think all these homeless people came from? God, look at these poor people. Excuse me, transient. It lost! Look, I'll give you some coppers. Can you tell me who killed the Furbos? Listen, pal. I don't want any trouble, okay? I didn't see who murdered him, but I sure heard it. Lots of yelling, human voices. You dig? Now get out of here before I change my mind about beating you up and taking your shoes. You are welcome to try, son. I ain't telling you nothing. Did you see who killed them? Living like an animal is hard enough without your insults. Oh. Get his pockets. Check his pockets. Well, that's theoretically good news, Django. But no, I haven't heard it. Did you see who killed him? No. He's just gonna get murdered. Well, that's good. That's good. Put him out of his misery. I didn't see who killed him. I had a whiff. Smelled rich. Kind of like you. Damn shame. Furballs were a fixture around here. Nice people. Always willing to share a meal or a patch of dirt. So when I say Westfall is screwed, I'm really not kidding. This zone... Oh, there we go. This zone has been screwed basically since Warcraft 1. Yeah, have some money. Who killed the Furbros? I like this. Who killed the Furbos? I'll tell you who killed them. King Varian Rin. That's who. And he's killing the rest of us, too. One bum at a time. The only thing I can tell you is that some gnolls were leaving the place a few hours before the law arrived. Yeah, I'll let him get that one. Interesting, Django. So it's their own IP? Oh, God help them. They haven't had a lot of luck doing their own IPs. Hey, you. Have some money. Tell me stuff. Between you, me, and the tree, Murlocs killed him. Yep, saw it with my own 2 eyes. I think they've been casing the joint for days, maybe months. They left once they got wind of Johnny Law and the idiot brigade over there. So, yeah, I just got back from lunch. I imagine most people don't realize I'm live yet. But, yeah, so Westfall, I'll talk a little bit more about it in the future, but you'd notice this kind of ambery, dead-looking stuff. Yeah, this isn't just because this is a fall area. This farmland is kind of screwed. So, I don't know how much you guys know about farming, but let's say you have this rich, fertile breadbasket farmland, like the breadbasket of an entire kingdom. Now let's say you let it rot for about 30 years. What do you think happens to that farmland? That's pretty much what happened to Westfall. Actually, it's been dying since Warcraft 1. Seriously. So this used to be the breadbasket of Stormwind. In fact, literally over a third of the gold wealth and over half of the food of Stormwind came from Westfall. And then, you know, the first war happened, and they evacuated, and then they came back after Warcraft 3, and they set themselves up. And because the Stormwind area was completely mismanaged, partially thanks to Onyxia, and partially thanks to greedy idiots back in pre-vanilla, no actual money or effort was put into reclaiming Westfall, like actually retilling the soil and adding nutrients to it and maybe getting some druids out here or something. So, yeah. Actually, really the Titans fit the Reapers better, Gnarlex, if you think about it. Anywho, so, yeah, they didn't actually do anything to actually help Westfall recover. So they just basically sent out people here and said, go farm and make us food. And the best part was they offered no military support, no guard support, no working on infrastructure, no nothing. They just said, go make us food. And when the Defias problem happened, the response was, well, the Defias aren't a big problem for us. We've got other things to worry about. So the Defias just kind of took over without effort. Completely took over the entire zone back in vanilla. Again, without effort. The Defias, as I said, were not a military power, but they had no opposition. They had the opposition of, like, a single platoon of troops under Gyron Stoutmantle. And that's it. So, yeah. So that's why the trees are kind of dead here and why the terrain is kind of bluff. And you can really see how the farmland is getting along right here. Fun place. Oh, don't worry, it gets worse than that, though. This whole zone has been screwed for forever. But I agree, it would probably just take a concentrated, managed recovery effort to actually make Westfall functional again and turn it back into the breadbasket. Gnolls and Murlocs? Horse poopy. Gnolls and Murlocs didn't kill these people. I've seen what Gnolls and Murlocs do to people, and it isn't like this. This is too pretty. Too perfect. Furthermore, the Furbolgs have been squatting on this farm for 5 years. No, whoever wiped them out had a reason. This is murder. We're going to get to the bottom of it. So, as pointless as I think this is going to be, we need to investigate all our leads. I need you to head west to Longshore on the coast and shake up some Murlocs. Try to find a clue or something. Seeing as how we have no other leads, we might as well get down to the information you got. There are a couple of Riverpaw Gnoll camps in this area. Track them down and search for clues. Bring back anything you might find. Isolate your search to the Riverpaw Gnolls and Scouts. Okay. Tell me everything you know! Wow, I'm really good at this interrogation thing. Where are the drugs? Oh, hey, I found a clue. Some red cloth. That's a clue? I guess it is. Whatever. No. Just leave the storm raging. It's okay. It's okay. No one cares. No one cares. Seriously, no one cares about Westfall. This zone is like the worst example of Alliance mismanagement in the entire setting. They've made some mistakes over the years, but this place is just... Ugh. Why do you abandon this place? This is like a rich, valuable, fertile farmland of awesome that still has actual functional gold and silver mines in it. Oh, hey, Bregman. I guess you heard me talking about my terrible MMO. Because no one else did, apparently. No one commented on it, like, at all, except for Takoida. But yeah, this place is just, like, super, super valuable. Do you know how much the orcs of Durotar would kill to have a zone like Westfall? But no, the Alliance are just like, screw it. It's just Westfall. No one cares about that. The letter is missing entries as the ink has been washed away in several places. Every form of has been based antagonism and impression. Nothing to lose but your chains. The past cannot be forgotten. Cannot be forgiven. Will rise again. Alright, I have a real mount. Yay! Yeah, admittedly, even if I wanted to turn it into another single-player RPG in the future, or game in general, I would have to come up with a new idea, because the original story is actually his plot arc. I'd have to come up with a new framework. And at that point, I might as well just make a new game, like I already have. Someday. No aliens, no. How goes the Murloc hunt? Nice find, rookie. I think we have a stack of these on my desk back at the station. We're basically back to square one. What do we know? That someone likes to write fiction about the past? Find anything on the knolls? It's supposed to be a joke, because I'm not laughing. Bits and pieces of red cloth? What the hell is this supposed to mean? Looks like we got a real whodunit here, rookie. Fortunately, it looks like the locals aren't willing to talk, and the clues you got are frickin' worthless. I have to initiate a plan. Be on the lookout for Two-Shoed Lou. Two-Shoed Lou is an old confidential informant of mine who, ironically, makes his home at the Furbog's old pumpkin farm. Okay. Let's go see what he knows. So yeah, the homeless people here are eating shoe leather to survive. Which means they're going barefoot. Because they only have so much shoe leather to go around. That's not a joke, by the way. These people are literally flat dirt broke. This is one of the reasons, I like how Zawon isn't here for this, but this is one of the reasons I think Anduin being in charge of, like, Stormwind the Kingdom would be a good move. Let other people handle the war, sure. But for God's sakes, let someone who has a brain manage the kingdom so you don't have literally thousands of people wandering around with old carts and their goods. And just look at this! Look at this! This is one of the worst refugee situations in the entire setting. And it's regular. There are regularly new people streaming in here from Stormwind. Basically anyone who wasn't a part of the military, who, as of this point in time, is off fighting another war against the Horde, is here, desperately trying to scrape together a survival situation. Not a living, not an existence, not a life. They're just here trying to breathe. They're at the lowest level of living here. Yeah, seriously, Gnarlex. This is just... Ugh. Look, we ain't got room for no more. Oh. Horatio sent you. Right. How can I help you? He's not here, is he? He knows I wasn't hiding from him. I was just trying to lay low, you know? Listen, I really shouldn't be talking to you, but I owe Horatio a favor or two. I don't know nothing about what happened to the furballs, but I might be able to point you in the right direction. That crate used to be my home before I struck it rich. Now I'm living the life every hobo dreams of. He's got a house. Right, so you take that living crate and head to the Janglead mine. Head to the back of the mine and hide in the crate. You get me? Yeah, Revenant Whisper was the name. Very good. Life in Westfall's hard. Every day is a struggle. We can go weeks without a decent meal. So it's important we all help each other out. Maybe you lend a hand, huh? I'm making dirt pies and I need some ingredients. Get some fresh dirt from the pumpkin patch and a bundle of coyote tails. I want to stress that we're about to make pie out of tails and dirt. Before those damned kobolds gave us a permanent limp, I used to be William Pessel's #1 candle supplier. Hell, I even came up with the name, I Take Candle. Yeah, that was me. Kobold would say, you know they take candle. And I'm just like, I take candle, and then I bash their brains in. Good times. Best times. Now, can't even use the bathroom without assistance. You want to help me? Go kill some frickin' kobolds. Because he doesn't think that way, Gnarlex. Like, I don't want to sound too derogatory of Varian. Lord knows lots of people get sick of me bashing the man. But the problem is he is not a capable ruler. He's a good general. In fact, he is a great general, a great soldier, and he has grown a lot as a person. But he is not a good ruler. He does not know how to run a kingdom. And the sooner he acknowledges that fact, the sooner Stormwind could stop having thousands of their own people in poverty-stricken death doom. I don't even have words for this. This is deplorable. It's ignoring the fact that in response to this... So, okay, I know this is a little bit of a spoiler for those of you who haven't played this, so forgive me, but the Defias Brotherhood are back. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, whatever, they're back. How boring. But it makes perfect freaking sense. And you know why? For the same reason the original Defias Brotherhood existed. Because of the negligence of Varian Wrynn. So, the Defias are completely screwed over. Okay, sure. And obviously Vanessa wants her revenge. Got it. Whether that's acceptable or not, that's a little bit more of a judgment call. Edwin was definitely screwed over, but at the same time, he probably shouldn't have gone into just a flat-out, I'm going to kill civilians level of revenge, which is where he was going. Oh, quite a bit. Psychotic. Quite a bit. However, whether or not Edwin Van Cleef was correct or not does not change the fact that what happened next was that these people were so downtrodden and so neglected and so disavowed of everything that they all willingly signed up to join the Defiance because of course they did. Why wouldn't they? Okay, here's your options. Genuine question. Whoa, what the... Oh, you tried to link something, didn't you, Django? Yeah, you got to link through whispers, Django, sorry. So I'm like, what the hell did Django say to... Yeah, anyways. So, genuine question. You have two options. You have to whisper it, Django. You have to whisper it. They're not allowed at all right now. You have two options. You can sit on a patch of dead land eating mud until you die, or you could go and join an organization who is trying to get you, like, you'll become a bandit, you'll become a brigand, but you will get food and a house, like a roof over your head, and the ability to actually live a little bit. Which of these two options do you think most people are going to be inclined to taking? It is so logical to me that the Defias Brotherhood rose again. Even if Vanessa hadn't been there to drag them back up, I cannot possibly imagine a situation in which the Defias would not rise. Or some version of the Defias. Something would have happened because this is a powder keg of hell here. This is one of the most mismanaged situations I've seen in a long time. And I've seen Garrosh try to run a country. I mean, really. Come on, one more. I mean, Varian, I'm glad you're growing as a person, but God, you screw up so much. Keep in mind, the Westfall area is home to 2 major mines. The Jangalode mine and the Deadmines. And the Deadmines were abandoned because of the First War, not because they ran out of gold. I mean, seriously. They might be like, well, what are kobolds doing in here? Well, the kobolds have 2 options. Be hated and feared by all the people around them because, you know, they're kobolds, and that's kind of how the Alliance reacts to kobolds. Or they can work for the Defias and mine gold for them, and they get to keep a share of it. That's pretty much what they're here for. They're here on behest of the Defias, working for them, or with them, or however you want to think of that. God, there are a lot of players in Westfall right now. Who dog? Well, the good news is layering means that we won't get to have our cutscene interrupted. So there's an ogre, a 2-headed ogre, actually. And someone who is clearly a human female, based on their model. What little humie want? Why you call Glub Talk? Sad. Is this the life you'd hoped for, Glub Talk? Running 2-bit extortion operations out of a cave. Glub Talk, crush you! Oh, will you? Do you dare cross that line? Risk your life. You may attempt to kill me and fail, or you can take option 2. What option 2? Join me, and I shower wealth and power on you. So Glubclock have 2 choices. Die, or be rich and powerful. Glubtalk take option 2. I thought you'd see it my way. I will call for you when the dawning is upon us. Yeah, I know, all the players. Thank God for kata design. That'd be a pain in the ass if it wasn't for that. Anyways. Oh, I'm sorry, call me. But yeah, once again, Shmidov, once again we see the evil organizations uniting disparate races. I mean, it's such a thing, it's kind of funny, really. But yeah, it is kind of funny how incredibly neglected this whole zone is. And as Psychotic pointed out, this is a coastal zone. So, breadbasket, 2 mines, and a coast. I want to once again stress this. This is like the most valuable possible type of zone that can exist for a kingdom. Strategically speaking, in terms of taking care of the people of said kingdom. A wealth of food, minerals, gold, and the access to the sea and the bounties thereof. Yeah, exactly. This place, Westfall, should literally be rolling in wealth. Oh, and by the way, just to make it clear, Westfall did not always look so barren and rotting and whatnot. It did used to be the green, lush place of awesome. Until the First War. That's really what caused that all. That's what started the first domino, was the First War. Yeah, actually, I was going to comment on that when we get there, Psychotic. By my memory, of all the heroics in Kata, the hardest one by far was Deadmines. Mostly because of that last fight, that last rush. I'm actually a little nervous about doing it again on my undergeared character. She's 100, so I'm not too worried about it. But I am like, eh. Yeah, Onyxia was the 2nd domino. Varian is the 3rd domino. Shouldn't have hesitated. My own fault. Yeah, those guys hit really hard. Those two mooks just... Oh, tanking those guys was crazy. I used to do the buy some time strat on those guys. For those of you not aware, as a warrior, you have an ability called Hup. That's not literally what it's called, but it might as well be. And so you hop away, so the healers have a moment to catch up while the mobs are running over to you. And then you intervene to someone who's back here, so the healers have a moment to catch up while the mobs are catching up to you. You don't do it immediately. You like, Hup! And then they catch up to you and they beat the crap out of you. And when health goes to like the 20%, then you intervene over here. Then you have another pause period to catch up. But yeah, I had to actually try on tanking those two guys. Holy crap. Oh, sweet justice. Killing those kobolds won't make me walk like a normal person, and it won't get me a job. But damn, it feels good. Here, I think I got something for you from my old kobold hunting days. Maybe you can put it to good use. I want the kobold candle. Lou puts his hand to his ears and starts talking loudly. Stop, stop, stop! I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know it. I don't care. That kind of information is allowed to get you killed around these parts. I got one more bit of information for you, then we're done. Okay? A couple of thugs recently showed up at the farm causing all kinds of trouble. I don't know where they came from or who they're working for, but I know they're bad news, and I overheard them talking about subjects that might interest you. If you're interested, you can find the thugs behind that farmhouse. If you get caught or killed, I don't know you. Never seen you. Good luck, kid. Yep, she's for real. Look how stealthy I am, guys. She wanted to tell you lugs that she appreciates the job we did for her on the fur burrows. Gave me a pile of gold to split with you all. Did you see her face? Was it really... Whoa, what do we have here, boys? Look like it's an eavesdropper. Only one thing to do with a lousy, good-for-nothing eavesdropper. It's die, apparently. You were saying, Psychotic? Holy crap, he's dead. He's dead. The guy who just... I didn't see nothing. He died of natural causes. Oh, please don't kill me. Natural causes? 2 bullets in the chest? 2 bullets in the chest and his shoes are on his head. What kind of natural causes would that be? Doesn't look good, rookie. This is an execution. Whoever did this was sending a message. A message that anyone would dare snitch on these criminals. Yeah, by the way, 2 shoes. They put the shoes on his head. I'm not going to quote the CSI thing. You know, there is such a thing as maybe, you know, maybe we shouldn't actually be at war when we can't afford to be at war. Maybe we should be thinking about, I don't know, some kind of infrastructure. And yeah, I know the Alliance thinks the Horde declared war on them because they're dumb. I'd be more complicated about it, but let's just be honest. It's because they're dumb. We're dealing with an organization here, rookie. You know, just off the richest bum in Westfall in broad daylight, leave no witnesses. Someone with a lot of powers behind these murders. What have you learned so far? What do we know so far? We need to follow the clues. Over at the Jansen's stead, you found a water-soaked letter and some scraps of red cloth. Here you overheard a conversation between a shadowy figure and an ogre mage. You also got a confession to the murder from a bunch of thugs, whom you then killed. Something ain't adding up. It's an old couple southeast of here, Saldian's farm. Head over there and speak with the farmer, see what he knows. Yeah, well. Did I? Oh yeah, I forgot to turn in my mud pie. Anyone want some mud pie? Oh yeah, that halberd. I've seen that one. Dirt bud pies don't make themselves. Just smelling you coming's got my stomach grumbling. We're gonna eat like kings tonight. And that's when I get depressed. No, I think it's pretty easy to blame Stormwind. Because I'm in Westfall right now. I'm just hoping, and I know this sounds weird, because, you know, there's no way this will ever actually happen. But I'm just hoping at some distant future we actually see Westfall get properly renovated, because it's been screwed over enough for like 30 years. I mean, God, this poor, poor zone. You think Duskwood has it bad? That's nothing. I've been in Westfall all my life, brother. I can remember the day when Westfall was the luscious land this side of the Stranglethorn Vale. Those days are long gone. We no longer have the Defias causing problems. The fallout from their reign can still be seen. And to make matters worse, we're in the worst economic downturn in history. All that gold we spent on fighting the Scourge left anyone not in the military jobless and homeless. And guess where all those people ended up? Horatio? That man's a scumbag. Dirty as my underwear. Listen, friend. I don't often give out advice like this. But you seem like a good man. Get out of Westfall. You're already in way over your head. All you're doing now is putting your neck on the chopping block. Times are tough, brother. With the downtrodden masses of Stormwind migrating into Westfall, resources are stretched as thin as they've ever been. People are restless and need help. Our own farmhouse has been serving as a halfway house for years. Salma does the best she can to keep our guests alive, but sometimes the Watchers get them. Watchers are those twisted abominations roaming my fields. A little present left by the Defias before they were driven off. Please go help us. And here's where the orphans end up. Hello, dear. Welcome to our home. You don't look like you're homeless. Have you come to help us? If so, you're just in time. I was planning dinner for the young ones with the simple ingredients. If you could get me some okra, gortusk, and some flesh ripper meat, I can make some Westfall stew. I'll go work on it, ma'am. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am completely with Hylisk on this one. There were other opportunities, other options for Varian other than immediately charge into another war. Again, I hate to bring on civilization into this, but imagine you've just finished a devastating war and you're cripplingly in debt in civilization, and you've finally had a chance where you can start building your infrastructure, get your economy back on track, get your resource chain back on track, and you immediately decide to go to war with another nation. Now, in fairness, that nation starts attacking one of your allies, so to make this analogy clear. But you have other options than immediately turning around and moving all your armies out there and going after them. That's just going to drain the hell out of your nation even worse. You know? Like I said, Varian just does not know how to rule a nation. He's a great general, he's a great soldier, but he is not a ruler. Yeah, by the way, so some people, this is a good point to bring up. Some people have asked me, how is it that, you know, the Defias... yeah, no kidding, psychotic. How is it that the Defias were able to make these things? These are not exactly bad machines. I mean, these are actually relatively advanced and specifically designed to play on the superstition of the farmers to drive them off, right? And they're fully functional war golems. So some people are like, how the hell did the Defias have access to that? Hey, Mind Blessed. Well, try to remember, the Defias Brotherhood's upper echelons, their leadership, the original Defias, consisted of all the most brilliant and thinkers and technicians and architects who built Stormwind. So they actually have access to a wealth of intellectuals, basically. Their relative research level is actually way higher than the relative research level of the others, to put it again in civilization terms. And so they actually have the know-how and the wherewithal to build functioning battle golems like these things. This is not the only thing that they built, too. They built several other things of a similar vein. And yeah, they also had goblins, which they recruited, because they weren't discerning about who they got to join them. And Invincible's awesome. Just wanted to say that because it's awesome. There we go. I think that would be kind of cool, by the way, Vanilla 3. The idea of seeing, like, the various expansions from the perspective of the lower decks, to use the TNG equivalent. Just a normal, everyday guy whose, you know, life is being completely destroyed repeatedly by the wars. Yes, Mind Blast. We've spent, like, the last 20 minutes talking about how incredibly degenerate this entire situation is. And pseudo-discussing who is most to blame. I mean, I do want to admit that this is one of those situations where Varian was in kind of a weird circumstance. Like, if he didn't immediately pledge to support fighting the Horde, knowing how Night Elves are, the Night Elves might have been like, well, wait, why are you not immediately lunging at our aid? You know, why aren't you immediately coming to help us? Because the Night Elves tend to think in that sort of a linear fashion. However, I do think Varian could be like, look, we can't go to war right now. We literally have people starving in the streets. I need to take care of my people right now. Please, just hold off for a while. Then we'll go assist you in the war with the Horde. And I don't know if Tyrande would have accepted that kind of diplomacy or not. I'd have to think about that. Agreed, Gnarlex. I feel really, really bad all of a sudden. I am wandering through the poorest zone in the entire game on a panther made of rubies and encrusted with gemstones. By the way, this whole complicated political situation I've been talking about is also part of why I have a degree of respect for the Twilight's hammer. Because this really was the perfect time for them to push the war into happening. Because, yeah. Now I'm on an Emerald Panther. I just want to show off that I have multiple 20,000 gold mounts lying around. But yeah, for those of you who have forgotten, the Twilight's hammer actually started the war. Like, legitimately. They are the ones who literally performed massacres and blamed the other side, and did a whole bunch of false flag operations to provoke the war into starting. Who actually declared war at that point is completely irrelevant. Or who was justified in the war at that point is completely irrelevant. The Twilight's hammer started it. Right after the invasion of Northrend, right after the Northrend campaign. Oh god, wow. Well, I actually made my own, so I just had to drop the 20k for the orb. The rest was just running around gathering. Or is it 16? I don't actually remember how much the orb is. Does anyone remember how much the orb is for these things? Yeah, I'm on my Emerald one again. Man, I just really love showing off to these people. Starting to feel kind of bad here, if I'm being honest. Come on, one more buzzard. Maybe it's 10,000? I don't know. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. There we go. 120,000 gold. I'm pretty sure I could buy Westfall for this mount. Like, seriously. Walk up to Stormwind. Hey, I'd like to buy Westfall. Here's my down payment. Oh my god, that's so much gold. Yeah, no kidding, Mind Blast. Holy crap. Like I've said before, it's really, really understandable why so many people willingly joined the Twilight's Hammer. Like I was talking about, there's three groups of people who joined the Twilight's Hammer, three categories, I should say. There's the poor and the desperate, like all the people here. That's a good point, Gnarlix. There's people who work with the elements who were twisted by them, and then there's people who got a little bit too close to the void and were twisted by that. And I've always believed the first category was the largest of the three. There's just so many desperate, ruined people in the setting. I gotta admit, by the way, one of the reasons I love Westfall is, I know people were complaining about the CSI stuff earlier, and I get that. One of the reasons I love Westfall is it really shows the consequences. It's a little bit too hand-wavy to just be at war all the time and be okay with that. I like showing the consequence, the behind the lines, showing insight into just how bad the kingdom's doing while the armies are off warring against each other. I liked that. That's probably one of the things I like most about Westfall, is the down-to-earth, here's what's happening while you're off fighting the Horde kind of a thing, you know? Food ready as soon as I have all the ingredients. Hurry! Oh, bless your heart. These poor orphans haven't had a hot meal in days. Looks like we'll have enough to feed many of the more homeless of Westfall. Yay! Your kindness will not be forgotten. Thank you, brother. You've done Salma and I a great service, and I promise it won't be forgotten. I don't have much money. No, seriously, keep your frickin' money, dude. I've got 1,000 gold just burning a hole in my pocket. What do you got there? Is that the heart of a Watcher? I've heard stories about using one of these to power up a Watcher for personal use. Of course, I'm really in no shape to try such things myself. From what I heard, all you need to do is find a suitable harvest golem and drop in the heart. Once you've done that, you should be able to take full control of the creature. I think there's a whole field of overloaded golems west of here. You should be able to get it working. You could use the golem to destroy the energized reapers. Dun, 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 dun. It's been many years since anyone's offered to lend us aid, Deutsch. Had you not come along, we might not have made it through the coming winter. You've proven yourself to be a selfless individual and a person I can trust. I only wish we had something of value to offer you. While I have no information to assist you in your crusade to bring the Furlbrow's murderer to justice, maybe my wife can help you. Speak to her and she'll tell you what you need to know before you leave. Okay, well, let's see what we got here. Of course, dear. Our little girl works at the Sentinel Hill. It's very close with the homeless of Westfall. Maybe she's overheard something. And before you go, let me wrap up some Westfall stew and tell you a little bit about my dear little girl. About 4 years ago, in the dead of night, a little girl walked into the farmhouse and collapsed on the floor. Nobody had a clue who she was. Poor little thing had no recollection of who she was or where she came from. She was truly a lost soul. Soon after, we adopted her and named her Hope. So that's what she represented. She's now a young lady, caring for the destitute and the homeless of Westfall. Take my stew to her, southwest of here. Yeah, by the way, to really, 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 really hammer in just how much back in vanilla the Onyxia Stormwind was neglecting this place. And this was a deliberate Warcraft 3 kind of tie-in sort of thing. Now there's actually like a whole garrison over there. But back in the day, you see that tower kind of rising up there? That was it. They had a guard tower. Now to pull this into Warcraft 3 terms, I want you to imagine that you have built an expansion. And it's like one of the most valuable, rich expansions. It's got like 3 gold mines and a bajillion lumber and oil and God knows what else. I guess the oil didn't exist in Warcraft 3, so whatever. And I want to imagine you've decided to defend this incredibly valuable expansion with 1 guard tower. Because that's pretty much what they were doing. Now, I know. In lore, a single guard tower is actually a much bigger deal than it is in the game. But my point is still made. It's just less emphasized. If the Horde wanted Westfall, they would have it. If Garrosh actually had a brain, the Horde should have won this war, in all honesty, because of how bad things were going on behind the lines for the Alliance. Not that I would want that to happen, God forbid. But, I mean, imagine they'd all go crazy over Vashir, or rather the island up here, right? They're like, oh, we will take this place. And once we have taken this place, we will have a perfect launching point. You want to talk about a perfect launching point for a naval invasion? Why not send your fleets to Westfall, which doesn't even have a frickin' garrison? I mean, really. Think about that for a minute. You know, that's even a better point, Lilu. I mean, I imagine it's supposed to be like the guard towers, because they actually have troops up there and whatnot. But seriously. No kidding, Psychotic. Telling you. Horde would just be like, nope, nope, we win. Yeah, for those of you not aware, Westfall is actually separated by a river from the other zones, so... Yeah. I mean, a river isn't going to stop everything, but try moving an army across through a river sometime and you understand why bridges are so important to a military force. So I'm starting to think that when I eventually take over as War Chief, which is going to happen in the next expansion, I'm thinking I'm going to attack Westfall. And you know why I'm going to attack Westfall? So I can feed the people. Literally, I'm going to walk up and my soldiers will be here and we'll be like, they will be followed by people carrying massive crates and carts of just food. And it's like, here, anyone who joins the Horde gets their fill. I would have the whole zone just like that. And I am being messaged by my friend, Pax. Hello, Pax. What are you linking me? Someone's actually suing Jim Sterling. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I hope that person dies. For slander, I think, is the specific thing for one of his reviews. I hope that person dies. Guys, just saying, if he was to get randomly run over by a car, I'd be okay with that. Not that I know who he is or anything about him whatsoever, other than that. I gotta actually read this now. I need details. If he wins, then I'm leaving this planet. I'm dead serious. That is the definition of wrong. So the specific and exact thing, forgive me, wow, lower hounds, he is being sued for is, and I quote, broadcast or written publication of a false statement about another person which accuses him or her of a crime, immoral acts, inability to perform their profession, having loathsome disease, or dishonesty in business. That sounds like the most vague thing in the known universe to accuse someone of. I'm accusing you of lying. Really? Sorry, I'm still reading here. This is ridiculous. By the way, the amount he's suing him for is 10 freaking million. And the other thing they're demanding, in addition to $10 million, I want you to think about how much money that is for just a second. Seriously, think about it for a moment. Think about how much money you spend every month, okay? Think about how much it costs you to exist every month. Now multiply that by 12, and then multiply it by the rest of your life, because you could live for the rest of your life comfortably on $10 million. And so could your family, and so could your friends. And I could prove that, because I've done the math. $10 million, and they're demanding apologies in place of every offending article and video for a period of 5+ years. And an apology video in the primary YouTube location of Sterling's channel, front and of period, for no less than 5 years. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Let me educate my European viewers on something real quick. You may have heard the lie that is referred to as innocent until proven guilty. That is a lie. That is a fundamental lie. That has not been true in some time here in the States. The way this works is he is basically going to be perceived as guilty basically just from now on. And it is now up to Jim Sterling to defend himself. In other words, 100% of the burden of proving this wrong is on the defendant, is on the person who is being attacked by this legal action. So Jim Sterling now has to go out of his way, spend his time, his stress, his money, his effort, his interest, and God knows what other mental damages that I'm not going to go into about that, on trying to defend himself against this ridiculous, flawed attack. But because of the way the legal system works, all that actually matters there is that the accusation was made. So, legally speaking, Sterling is going to be effectively treated as if he is guilty until he manages to prove that he is innocent. It is also worth noting, by the way, that thanks to the nature of how that works, they can determine what is considered evidence or not. Or if I could say this in a different way, reality doesn't matter in the legal system. If I could use a quick parallel. Let's say I walk up and shoot a person, okay? Just bear with me. And 1 billion people see this act happen. It is actually legally possible under the right circumstances, and this is why I call things technically, by the way. This is actually where I got that term from. It is possible to pull it technically and say, well, the witnesses that saw this cannot be considered evidence, and therefore it is inadmissible and does not count towards the case. So what other evidence do you have to prove that he shot this man? Now, of course, there is other evidence, but the mere fact that the legal system can decide what is evidence and what isn't arbitrarily, with no limits, I don't even have words to explain how ridiculous that is. I really don't. And yeah, they can't DMCA Jim Sterling anymore. That's probably what's pushing this. They're tired of failing on that front. I'm going to go ahead and shut up about this topic, because this is leaning towards controversial topics, and I just... wow! Anyways, so, now that we've taken out those things, let's head to Sentinel Hill, shall we? Let's talk about fictional politics, shall we? Hey, look, it's the really, really valuable panther. The one that requires just having the other panthers to make it. Onyx, I guess? What is this thing? Yeah, Onyx. The jeweled Onyx Panther. Oh my god. Now, I want to point out something kind of important here. Obviously, the gnolls are causing issues around here. And of course they are. They're gnolls. That's what they do. The homeless people are naturally outside the walls. Don't worry, they're also inside, but I just wanted to point out that there's homeless people who aren't even allowed in. They haven't even finished constructing the walls around this place. I also love the idea that this is great. Rather than actually spending money on reclaiming the soil, or getting druids in here to fix things, or maybe trying to make jobs for these people, they're building a wall, a military wall, around Sentinel Hill. Now, in the interest of total fairness, it is worth noting that this kind of construction work does actually constitute creating jobs. So maybe some people now have work as a result of them building this wall. But seriously, that's where they're spending their resources? Yes, Mind Blast. He said they made a terrible game, and they're suing him for $10 million and some other ridiculous stuff for that. That is the reality of what's happening there. Where's... Oh, there she is. There she is. Well, they shouldn't, but you get my point. Some guy named Rip Snarl. I don't even know who that is. Hey, Gyron Stormantle. You are now a marshal. Oh, no, I think you were always a marshal. And in charge of the Westfall Brigade. That's actually pretty impressive. Of course, we already knew that from Northrend. But still. Moving up in the world. Yeah, take this dirt pie. Take all the money that I'm tossing at you and turn it into food for these people, would you please? Good day, sir. How can I serve you? I smell Westfall stew. Mother sent you? Yeah, I heard about the Furlbro murders. It's very tragic, but such tragedy is the way of life in Westfall. There are many people here who simply no longer have the means or inclination to keep themselves fed. They've given up hope. Do you understand what it means to be left so hopeless to stop caring about your life? We must work together to show them that there is hope, that the dawning day a better life comes. Take my stew around and feed the homeless around Sentinel Hill. I think we mentioned it in Northrend, but yeah, for those of you not aware, Stout Mantle here is actually from Lorerun, not Stormwind. Yes, that is also a thing that happened, Illyria. Funnily enough. I need to look up something real quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, we're going to go around and feed the hungry. I just want you to pay attention to her haircut and her style of everything. Because, well, we'll get there. Anyways. We were once known as the People's Militia. These days, though, we fight under the banner of Stormwind, with the full support of King Varian Ring. Our goals here in Westfall are many. Clean up the mess left behind by the Defias, expand the reach of the Alliance, and maintain order. We are failing on all fronts. No kidding! Times are worse now than when the Defias were running amok. With the indigenous gnolls of the region up in arms, we find ourselves backed into a corner. Please help us, Deutsch. Sure, I'll help clean up your mess for you. Have you heard of Captain Grayson? Some say he's the figment of a drunken sailor's imagination, but anyone in Westfall will tell you that Grayson's real. He's a ghost that haunts the Westfall Lighthouse far to the west. Yeah, sure. The war in Northrend took its toll on us as a people, Deutsch. While we were victorious in the Frozen Wastes, our own land fell into disarray. After my tour of duty was over in Grizzly Hills, I returned to Westfall to find the land in worse condition than when I left. The price of our war left thousands of citizens homeless. They now migrate here and squat on deserted farmhouses in the towns of the region. And to make matters worse, we are now under attack by the gnolls. The Westfall Brigade needs your help, Deutsch. Slay the gnolls! And we must find out who's... Can we do something about the homeless? Of course I would, Maddie. Absolutely. I look forward to any future RTS games. From Blizzard, I mean. Although in general as well. Now that's a fast respawn right there. Hey, we got some attack orders. Minions, our leader has spoken. You are to attack Sentinel Hill and free the Admiral. You may keep anything you find in your rampage. Have some food, son. Seriously. Have some food. Zawon, you totally missed it. We argued back and forth about that earlier. I mean, really. You're not going to convince me that the Alliance isn't being... Excuse me, that Stormwind isn't just being incredibly mishandled right now. No, they did not confirm where Kajamite came from, which is a bit of a shame. I was really hoping for some answers on that one. So, I know what you're saying. Well, maybe I'm just making things up. Well, as you can see here, there's a sign here that says, and I quote, absolutely no transients, no exceptions. And there are guards here. Military guards of Stormwind, whose only purpose is to be here and prevent Stormwind citizens from finding refuge in here. That's their job. I'm going to feed them, because I'm not Stormwind. So, I know most of you have already played this game and already know this stuff, so I don't really feel too bad spoiling something here. Also, I like this. One of the transients says, we're just trying to get a decent meal and maybe a comfortable night's sleep. And the Sentinel Guard says, and I quote, can't you read, pal? Probably not, huh? Keep in mind, these are normal citizens, not bums. These are people who, yeah, no kidding. I actually agree with that, Zawon. Imagine what it would be like if the dwarves just zoomed in and were like, here, let's help people. Because that's what we're doing. We're dwarves. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. I'm probably a little more negatively inclined towards this situation than I otherwise would be, because I know what it feels like to be starving. I haven't been that way in a very long time. But when I was a lot younger, I actually have lived on the street, and I have gone without food for a long period of time. And it sucks. And the thought of all these people being here and going starving just bothers me. Especially since there are ways to fix it. Like Venetre just said. What if Stormwind went and appealed to Lorerun and said, we have people starving in Westfall. Please send aid. Now that's a stopgate, you know, that's a temporary, a band-aid solution, but at least it would get these people fed so that they could get to the point where they could actually fix this problem internally. See, the real problem here is the infrastructure of Stormwind is screwed up, and in fairness, that's not all Varian's fault. He's not helping the problem, but it's not his fault. That is Onyxia's fault, that is Warcraft 1's fault, and the Demonic Horde's fault, and that is the fault of just the nature of reality. You can't just create jobs. That's a real-life problem, actually. I've talked about that on my show. You can't just snap your fingers and then make things get fixed like that. But at least you could do something to help, rather than doing nothing. Okay, so I just want to point this out. This is Hope Saldine, okay? This is the orphan that the Saldines took in, right? She is the one who gives us the quest to go feed the helmless, okay? Actually, I think there is a way to get that in-game, Zawon, if you give me a moment. Pretty sure. Nope, that's not it. Damn. I don't know. I thought there was an overhaul in the game you could get. Anyways, so this is the woman who asked us to go feed these people. You have a kind heart. You have done a good thing today, and that will reflect back on you when the judgment day comes. So, for those of you not aware, this is Van Cleef's daughter. This is Vanessa Van Cleef. I really think that speaks for itself. Well done. You've provided us temporary reprieve from the gnolls. South of here is a place known as the Dust Plains. From what we know of the gnolls, they have made the region their unofficial capital. As with any capital, there's a leader at its heart. If we're to put an end to these attacks, we must track down the gnoll in charge and murder the crap out of him. Okay. Did you recover the attack orders? Helix? I've heard that name before. Recently, as a matter of fact. But who's the Admiral? Someone else turned in a quest. Do you know anything about this beast? Who is this Admiral? Speak! Also, that's a Worgen they're treating as if he's a nothing. The dawning comes, stout mantle, and with it your end. Gibberish from a mad wolf. Bah! I just want to point out that Worgen are people. I just want to point that out. I know what you're thinking. Well, he's in here for a reason. Yes, he is in here for a reason. When he was afflicted with the Worgen curse, he went crazy and killed his family. And then he went more crazy. Not violently, just crazy because he killed his family. And he was terrified from doing so. But, that's... I mean, really? Really? SI-7 has been tracking Helix Gearbreaker since he entered Alliance territory 2 weeks ago. The letter I received from Matthias Shaw explained he sent an agent by the name of Kiernan to Westfall to shadow Helix. Find the agent, and you'll find Helix. He came into town for supplies 2 days ago. She mentioned she would be near Mortwake's tower. Okay. Yeah, that's a fairly severe amount of racism going on there. Agreed, Mind Blast. Gummy bears! Wait, I shouldn't steal any. Here, you can have them. You're welcome, Kirishi. I'm glad you like it. It always makes me smile a bit to learn that people still enjoy my stuff, despite everything. Let's go ahead and do these other non-story quests really quick. Get these out of the way. Oh, I have a talent. Sucks. Yeah, these are all terrible. That's a PvP talent. That's a CC talent. So yeah, we'll take the stun. Thank you. Which goes here. No, actually it goes here. My bad. I had to remember that. No, the gummies. But those were light gummies. I guess I'll just have to eat fell gummies now. Oh, these are incredible. More fell gummies. Nom. Now, I do admit I'm being a little harsh on Varian, but I already kind of explained why. This one kind of hits me a little personally. It's one of those, you're in a bad situation, but then there's hope, and that hope is even worse. Like, that's just what this feels like to me, and I know what that feels like in real life, and it sucks. And so, you know, I just kind of want someone to walk up and be like, look, okay, Varian, go to the Broken Shore, fight the Legion. I'm going to fix your kingdom at your back, or else you're going to come home to 3 Westfalls, you know? I mean, seriously. Yeah, seriously, get the Forsaken to get food up here. Oh my god. So, the footlocker slowly creeps open. Sand and water seem to be its only contents. But wait! A small crab scuttles out with a clue to the treasure in its claws. Yeah, I turned down the quality because people were complaining about not being able to see it because it was buffering too much. So I turned down the quality. The clue to the treasure reads, "Good work, matey. Now you head due east up the bluffs, east of the road. Look for the old chimney ruins. There you'll find an old barrel with your next clue." Yay! It's right there. We'll go to that right now. Yeah, that's another one of the reasons I kind of want to be a Twitch partner, because Twitch partners have priority on bandwidth. So I could actually turn the quality to something good, as opposed to this kind of pixelated gibberish I'm sure you're seeing. I have to say I'm sure, because I don't actually see what you see. I'm just assuming it's bad, because this is really low quality. This is about a third of what I normally stream at, quality-wise. Oh yeah, so by the way, this is a thing in Westfall too. Hey Malfurion, I know you're busy and all, but like, I mean, any chance we could have some help here with this? Because we've got an issue here. No? No, you're busy with Night Elf problems. Okay, thanks, Malfurion. Thanks. All that's required for me to get a Twitch partnership is for them to give one to me. What they have told me consistently in the past, I've only actually applied like 4 times, but each time I have gotten bigger on my stream, I have went ahead and reapplied. And they've told me consistently that I am simply too small and too low scale for them to be worth a damn. For me to be worth a damn, rather. No, this isn't that kind of a wound. This is more like a giant chunk of earth was ripped out because elemental crap. By the way, in case you can't quite tell, the crater doesn't just stop here. You'll notice how the very land around that crater, like here, is also slanted inwards. Whoops, whoops. Making this massive freaking crater here. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, Zuwan. Seriously. Let's get some freaking shamans here and fix this. Alright, searching through the barrel, you find another piece of parchment. This one reads, "Now from this barrel face north, straight as the crow flies. Keep walking until you see an empty jug next to a lone windmill on the sea bluffs." Okay, I can do that. Shrug, Illyria. Like I said, they have consistently turned me down, and I've kind of stopped asking. Well, I mean, really, Zoan. Who is going to help? The Night Elves? They don't give a crap. Even though they insist that we help them, and they do, they would never turn around to actually help us. Oh, you're on the other side of the world. We have our own problems. Yeah, that's great. Okay. We turn to our actual allies, the dwarves, and say, hey, please. And the dwarves say, you got it, laddie, because they're freaking dwarves. Because that's how that works. It'd be like the Tauren turning to the orcs and saying help. Or the orcs turning to the trolls. The automatic response would be, yes. I mean, God's sakes, it's not even that complicated. But they didn't go to help the wetlands. They went there to find their freaking elemental thing, remember? I even pointed that out when we were in the wetlands. They're just like, oh, yes, we must find this great ancient end thing. Oh, we found him. We must help him in all matters. Oh, but the wetlands are kind of being screwed right now. You could help us? No, we cannot help you because we are stupid. But we could really use some help. No, I'm afraid we are too stupid to help you. Oh my god. Where was I? Aha! There's a clue sticking it out! Oh my god! Within the deep jug you find another clue. The ink is run in some places, and the paper smells like whiskey, but you can make out the text. Now that you found the old whiskey jug, you're almost to the treasure. Just face west from the bottle and go down the shore. Okay. Yes, Kirishi, I did actually finish the book. Both episodes are already up on my YouTube. Sci-fi shows to recommend? No new ones. But then again, I haven't really been into most newer television. For whatever reason. I mean, I could recommend a lot of old sci-fi. But everyone's watched all that stuff. You know what else I'd love to see? The gnomes are like, man, we could take back Nomergon if only we had the manpower. And like at that exact second, the humans show up and say, we're here to help you take back Nomergon. And they're like, oh, that's freaking amazing. Where were you, like, the last time we tried this? That could be it, Hylisk, honestly. And yes, I liked the book. I don't know if they liked the book, but I liked the book. Favorite picture? Oh, I don't know. There's so many good pictures. The chat's on YouTube as well, Kirishi. That's why I capture the chat. Oh, no, I didn't capture the chat because the chat plugin wasn't working. You're right. My bad. Duh, I'm stupid. Anyway, we found it. We found the treasure. It's silver, a sash, a bag, and a shirt. Whoa. This actually was a big deal back in vanilla, especially the bag. Well, there's the pic of Sargeras cleaving a planet in half. God damn it, really? There's the picture of... there we go. There's the picture of Eldrith Alas. There's the picture of Silver Moon City, and there's the picture of Zinashari. All of those were really good pictures, in my opinion. Yeah, when the plugin finally started working. God. Nothing was working yesterday. Whoa. Nothing was working yesterday. It's just bizarre. WoW was also having issues yesterday. It was just... Yeah, me too, Ricky. It's like, oh, it's a bag. Oh, I have more inventory space. Yeah, remember when we were just used to dealing with 16 slots? Because I do. Alright, here's the biggest spoiler. It's awesome. Seriously, I really did like the book quite a bit. I have already... If it was already available for pre-order, I would have already purchased Volume 2. Volume 1 did end a little earlier than I thought it would. I thought it was going to end at year 0, but it actually ends at like year -10 or so. Actually, I could look up the exact year right now. Because I got the book right here. It ends at year -45, actually. My bad. So, actually, I guess that'll be closer to like year -35, my bad. Point being, it ends a bit before Warcraft 1. Yeah, no kidding, Gnarlex. Cough, cough. What's funny is Blizzard's never done this sort of thing before. And yet, when they're doing it right. That's kind of Blizzard's philosophy in a nutshell. Me and Pax call them Blizzard of Borg, but it's actually kind of a compliment. Because they'll take other ideas, and they'll take other concepts, and they'll implement them, and they'll care about what they do. So they don't actually, like, have great ideas on their own, and they don't really do, they're not really the first people to figure it out. But whenever they go back to fix stuff, they usually fix it properly. Yes, this is a pillow. It's to help my back stretch out a bit. Anyways. Damn it, Bregwin. Hey, Bregwin, I'll give you all the loot from the run tonight if you... anyways. Well, I'm glad you like them, Great Bodiquint. I've heard of The Expanse. It just didn't catch me, personally. But I'm glad you're liking it. And there's no gnolls allowed. Or are there? Anyone remember, by the way, when the Defias were part of, like, every storyline? I'm not sure if the dwarf is still there. Honestly. I mean, I know you're talking about, obviously. The guy just southwest of here. Or I guess just west of here now. But yeah, remember when the Defias were, like, involved in everything, and there's this Magi Tower here, and it turns out the Defias were actually involved in the Gurabashi trolls, and were helping Zindo with his, particular form of not quite necromancy. I just point that out because the Defias really did have their fingers in, like, every pot. It was one of their appeals. They were one of the vanilla, we're everywhere organizations, even if it was only small-time people. Really, really unlikely, call me fives. I mean, Red Ridge is a little bit too large of a zone for me to finish today, so I am more likely to call it quits early than I am to continue on to another zone and chop it in half. I would much prefer to have all the zone stuff more organized for when it all goes up to YouTube. I do definitely think I'm going to finish Westfall today, but yeah. Well, that would surprise me a little bit just because of the timing of it. Moira wasn't really doing the intelligent manipulative thing back then. Wow, this is the best... Wow, I want that gun. Alright, Zawan, I have a task for you. Or anybody who feels like doing this. Figure out where I could get that gun model and transmog it. It's off of Agent Kieran. K-E-A-R-E-N. Helix is the one responsible for the null attacks? He's inside. He's been there for days. I've been just waiting for an excuse to bust him. Helix has gotten himself holed up in the old Mortwake Tower. I won't lie to you, Deutsch. It's heavily guarded. I've counted at least 6 super mercenaries in there just on the outside. There's no way you're getting in by yourself. Lucky for you, Claire and I are here. That's the sniper rifle. I'll cover your entry. Take this shrouding potion. You'll need it as soon as you get inside. Thank you, Norlix. Let's see if I can find where I can get that. It's a purple world drop. But it also has the same model as quite a few different guns. Let's see, what's the lowest level one? 60, 60, 43, 55, 63, 39, 30. Neelix. Oh my god, he's everywhere. Where's that other low-level one? Why is that losing? Oh, whatever. I'll look at the rest in a bit. I will make it my mission to go make that transmog happen. Somehow. Yeah, it looks like my best option's the one from Moradin. Unless I can actually find a sniper rifle on the auction house. Well, the one from Moradin actually only requires 30. So I could actually technically do that now. I would just need someone to help me with that. Yeah, this tower... Hey, look, we're technically in the Shadowlands right now. Technically. What the? Null's a failed mistress. They provided the distraction I required. We will continue as planned. But, Mistress, the Admiral's still, you know... We will free the Admiral during the dawning. Yes, Brigman. Yes, Mistress. Wait. Judgment Day is soon upon us, Helix. Call for the people. I wish to speak to them one last time before the dawning. So you know what I like? Oh, in Moonbrook, mistress? Aye, tonight. So, I think what I like best about these quests... Obviously, I have already completely spoiled all of it for you, because this is a Lorerun, and that's how that works. But when this quest was first coming out, and when I was first doing this, I didn't think this had anything to do with the Defias. Really. This had the fingerprints of the Twilight's hammer all over it, and it made so much sense. They're talking about this dawning, and they're organizing between all of the different, all of different races, and it's this manipulative organization in clandestinely working in the secrets and taking advantage of the poor and impoverished people. I mean, that just screams Twilight's hammer to me. I'm curious if anyone else out there had a similar reaction or speculation about these guys. What could possibly be going on in Moonbrook? I don't like this one bit. I'll be filling out my report and heading back to Stormwind shortly. SI-7 must be informed of what's happening. I'd recommend you do the same and report to Gyron. I can do that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking, Gnarlex. And considering we know for a fact that the hammer had infiltrated Stormwind, for those of you who haven't done it, there was a quest as part of the Cataclysm pre-launch event where there was a huge amount of Twilight infiltration going on in Stormwind City that nearly took out Anduin, and Anduin was part of trying to uncover it, because Anduin has a freaking brain. But yeah, that was pretty much exactly what I was thinking. By the way, nice little touch here. These guys have their own little Westfall appearance now, which is based partially on the Northrend Cobalt gear. It's not actually exactly like it. It's leaning in that direction. Just a nice little touch I wanted to point out. Excellent work. It'll take the Riverpaw weeks to recover from this. Who is this shadowy figure? She's right there! We need to get to Moonbrook. We've had a camp near Moonbrook for quite some time now, Deutsch. One of my best soldiers works in the area along with a company of Sentinel Hill troopers. Report to Captain Alpert now and find out if he has any news about Moonbrook. Another ally of mine is also at the Moonbrook camp. His name's Thoralius. I met him in Northrend during my time at Valgard. He's a wise and powerful shaman. Gee! I wonder why a wise and powerful shaman is here. I hope it has nothing to do with the giant frickin' crater of death over there. Yeah, sorry, that's my Skype. I should remute Skype. I have to mute Skype every now and again, and then I have to unmute Skype when I actually use it. Ah, Moonbrook. I hate Moonbrook. No, I kid. I have a lot of bad memories about Moonbrook. But I have more bad memories about the tunnels leading up to Deadmines, or VC. Bonus question. How many of you know what I mean when I say VC immediately? And why I say VC instead of something else I could say? The natives are restless, Deutsch. I don't know what's going on, but homeless activity has quadrupled in the last 2 days. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they were planning something. We've noticed a rise in violent acts amongst the homeless in the area. Someone or something's getting them all riled up. Now, whoever's behind this is getting more organized. I just recently got a group of thugs came through here handing out pamphlets. Enter Moonbrook and look at evidence for propaganda, leaflets, whatever. Bring whatever you find to me. What about the shaman? I mean, I'd kind of like to fix that problem over there, you know? I mean, seriously. I'm a hipster. How am I a hipster? How is that even remotely a hipster thing? So for those of you not aware, originally everyone called this DM, Deadmines. It's the same as like every other instance in the game. There's an acronym for it. That's true for raids too. BT, for example. But then Dire Maul came out, and Dire Maul was a lot more popular. And as a result of being a lot more popular, most people started saying DM is Dire Maul. Makes sense. So we needed to rename what we called this place. And I don't remember where I first heard it. I didn't come up with it. Someone else mentioned it to me. But I kind of latched onto the idea and spread it myself. So we called this place VC for Van Cleef to differentiate it from Dire Maul. So whenever someone would say, I want to go run VC, we'd know what they meant. If someone wanted to go run DM, we knew what they meant. Because, yeah, acronyms, you know. If you ain't with us, you ain't against us. Die. The material of this fabric is identical to the material found at the murder scene. You should collect more red bandanas as evidence. Oh, okay, I can do that. Well, yeah, WC is Wailing Caverns. I don't understand that question. So what do we got here? Okay. The hour of our redemption draws near, brothers and sisters. Tonight, we will shed the shell of our former lives and be reborn as heroes. Give a man a tabard, he will pledge his undying loyalty to your cause. These men are now government sheep who care not for your hardships. They wear the tabard of their leader and care only for what he desires. That's kind of true, actually. I mean, really. You know, funnily enough, Ricky, I never actually had that problem. Like, I never had anyone who called it DM. Or was like, what's VC? Or anything like that. It was just, yeah, this is VC. Of course, we were kind of a... our server has never actually been a high pop server. So we tended to be behind the times in a lot of things. So it's possible the whole VC DM thing had already resolved, and then it finally trickled into our server. God, there are a lot of homeless people here. Look at all these people. What's this say? Groups of homeless Samaritans brutally murdered behind Furlborough Farm. Witnesses state that 4 men killed at the Furlborough Farm were on their way to delivering dirt pies to a shelter on the East Coast when men attacked. Jim Campbell's McCannigan, eyewitness to the scene, said, "Yep, so the whole thing with my own 2 eyes was a male hunter. Looks like he may have been on something. He slaughtered the poor bums in broad daylight while shouting obscenities and proclaiming his love for Stormwind and King Varian Rin. I think he may have killed Lou immediately afterwards. I was too shaken up to see." Guys, we've been framed. We're famous. Of course, whenever you said it on like TeamSpeak or whatever, we wouldn't say acronyms. We'd usually say Deadmines, because Deadmines is actually 2 syllables. DM, VC, Deadmines. It's the same syllable, so there's not really any difficulty there. But typing it out, people would usually type out, at least, again, on my server, VC. Yes, Outland is still in the demilitarized zone. Actually, fun fact, I learned to type fast in a previous MMO called Asheron's Call, where where you had to do a lot of playing the game in keyboard because it was an older game. So mouse commands were basically non-existent. So you're basically playing the game on the keyboard. So in order to do anything, especially while coordinating during a fight, this was well before TeamSpeak or anything like that, you had to be like tap, 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 tap. That's actually when I learned how to type so fast, was there. I've actually gotten a lot slower since then because I haven't had a need to type fast since then. I've gotten lazy in my old age. There it is. Yeah, this place is a dump. Moonbrook has been a dump ever since. So, a little bit of a factoid here. You might be like, wow, this place is terrible. These damn Defias, they have completely ruined this place. Well, actually, the Horde came through here and ruined this place. Moonbrook was actually a place in Warcraft 1. And the place was sacked and kind of wrecked when they came through. The Defias just kind of squatted on the land. I just point that out to, again, emphasize how screwed Westfall has been for how long. Because they have been scrolled for so long that this town that has been there, yes, I do as the one, this town that's been here for 30 plus years and has been in ruins for 30 plus years has still not been renovated this entire time. My God. Red bandanas. I haven't seen these in years. Could this shadowy figure be attempting to reform the Defias Brotherhood? Nah. Also, thank you, Kingarian. I will take that as a positive. Oh, right, I want to read this thing. I can hardly believe it. We've endured this torment for 4 long years, but soon it will be over. The Brotherhood will be reborn, and we will wash across this land as a flood to clean it of filth and corruption. You know... no kidding, Vinatri. Seriously, could we, like, get up a donation, charity drive, help rebuild Westfall? God, I would donate to that as a horde. Remember, the Defias, the original Defias, actually had a really good shot at claiming out a small little fiefdom for themselves and really making a real dent into Stormwind. The Alliance was nowhere near as strong back then. They weren't as unified. They didn't even have a king. He had a massive Doom machine, and they had a lot of things, assets, personnel, etc. on their side. I mention that because Van Cleef's original plan had a great deal of merit. He was likely to succeed. Vanessa's plan is just, screw you. There's no actual long-term thinking involved in her plan, because she's not her father. She's a damned good assassin, but she's not actually that good at thinking. That was really one of the reasons why Van Cleef was so good at what he did, and why the Defias became as big as they were. Because, remember, this is a man who SI7 wanted personally to become like the number 2 guy of SI7. They wanted to recruit him in and train him up to be the second in command. Matthias Shaw wanted him in there for that. That's how good he was. And yet, you know, Vanessa has none of this. No, don't do it, Ricky. Don't do it. Anyway, so, yeah, my point is Vanessa's plan would have never succeeded. At most, this would have caused some damage, which it did, but, yeah. Looks like the meeting with the shadowy figure spoke of is starting soon. The homeless are starting to mobilize. I need you to attend. Go to the center and listen in on the rally. Okay, I'm ready. You're not sending me into a trap, are you? No? Okay, good, good. Because that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Wow, that's a... Gather, brothers and sisters, come all and listen. Brothers, sisters, we were abandoned, the orphaned children of Stormwind. Oh, God! Fresh dusk! Our king sits atop his throne made of gold and shrugs at our plight. Meanwhile, our children die of starvation in these very streets. His war, not ours, cost us our livelihood. We paid for the Alliance's victories with our blood and the blood of our loved ones. This time has come, brothers and sisters, to stop the injustice. The government of Stormwind, of the Alliance, must be made accountable for what it has done to us. Today, we are reborn. We take a stand as men and women, not faceless names and faceless numbers. I don't know, Shmidov. I mean, it's not like players would recognize her. Alright, let's see what donation just came in while that was happening. That was from Ricky. Well, if I have to take your money, I will. But I'm going to put it towards normal suit. Because you didn't specify. Where would you like to put it, Ricky? So, the thing that I'm amused by is Van Cleef, the old Defias, technically had less of a reason to rebel. It was a huge misunderstanding being manipulated by the people in power. Van Cleef and the leaders of Stormwind were both victims, in both of them. I mentioned that because that's relevant. He, who had a greater chance of succeeding, had less reason to do so. Vanessa has far more reason to succeed. Everything she just said is actually true. A little bit incendiary, but still true. She has all the reason in the world to unite this people into a new banner. And yet she has a far less chance of succeeding. I find that juxtaposition hilarious. I could hear the cheers from here. Seems we've got a huge problem on our hands. We've yet to discover the identity of this shadowy menace before we enlist the aid of Stormwind. Maybe there's another way. There's a shaman here who might be able to help us. He's a friend of Griant's who came recently to Westfall to study the massive doom death thing over there. Maybe go talk to him. Okay. Hey, you need some help with the massive doom death thing? Yes, perhaps I could be of assistance. When I was in Northrend, I helped the people of Valgard uncover some of the mysteries of the Vrykul by delving into the spirit world. Perhaps the same could be done here. You remember that, by the way? He was the one who helped us learn about some of the originations of humans in Valgard Keep. But you still have to pick, Ricky, unless you want me to pick for you. This incense will put your mind and body into a deep meditative trance. Once the trance begins, you will be pulled into the spirit world. Do not fight the trance once it is begun. Allow the spirits to show you what they know. You must leave now. Go to the Deadmines, a place which I am told holds great significance in the history of Westfall. Once inside, use the incense. Okay. Deadmines. What I mean, Jameson. Okay, Ricky. What I mean is, the King of Stormwind didn't want to screw over the stonemasons. The people of Stormwind didn't want to screw over the stonemasons. But they did, because they were manipulated and deceived by the people who were actually in control of the situation. And it kind of went both ways for quite a bit. Follow the trail of homeless. So this is a fun fact. How many of you know people who used to get really lost in this path right here? Well, thank you, Ricky. I'm proud to be your first donation. But how many people did you know who would always get lost in this path I'm going through right now? I suppose I should raise my hand on that, obviously, because I knew a lot of people who did not know their way through here. Well, it was a little more complicated than that, but basically, yeah. The nobility were on the side of Anixia, and she was manipulating them, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, everyone got lost in here. I got lost in here my first few times in here. And then I was the one who figured out the path, and so I was the one who, it was always my job to show other people how to go through here. So I ended up doing it over and over and over and over until I got to the point where I knew exactly where I was going every single time. There were also quests in here back in vanilla, so, you know, doing those was the other thing. I'm right here. Do I have to actually go in? I don't remember. Let's find out. Holy crap. So this is probably the best shot we're going to get of the Juggernaut. That is the wonderful Doom ship they were making. Look at that monster, by the way. This is the biggest ship in the game. It is a wonderful beauty of death and destruction. I love that ship. Look at that thing. Like I said, back in vanilla, this would have done some damage to Stormwind. So as you can see, there's Cookie's corpse down there. There's the corpse of the pirates down there. There's Captain Greenskin. There's the Alliance party. There's nowhere left to hide, Van Cleef. The Defias are through. There's an Alliance hunter, rogue, priest, warrior, and mage. We're here to finish this. Face us, coward. None may challenge the Brotherhood. So, fun fact, just to really showcase how old this is, they actually have the hunter have a mana bar. They did that on purpose. Just to show that this is back in vanilla, is when this happens. Lapdogs, all of you. I don't even begin to know, Bragwin. This is technically ogre design, by the way. And by technically, I mean this is ogre design. And remember, these are some brilliant architects and craftspeople, so if anybody can make it work... Fools, our cause has righteous. Apparently they had a disciplined priest, because of course they did. Actually, discipline didn't actually exist back then. Not really, but yeah. The Brotherhood shall prevail. Victory for the Alliance! Glory to Stormwind! Let's return to Sentinel Hill, allies. Let's inform Gyron of Van Cleef's demise. Don't forget we ripped his head off. That's something that we did too. Well, off they go. What? Who's that? Daddy? Dun dun dun. To be continued. I knew several players whose actual reaction to that revelation was exactly the same as Gyron's reaction, which is basically that he had a daughter? You know, just complete shock. Whoops, wrong way, wrong way. See, this is the reason. Vanessa is definitely someone who is, you know, evil. I don't want to deny that. But I feel really, really bad for her. This is a woman whose life was already destroyed when her father was forced to leave the city that he built, and he and his people built, because they refused to pay him. And then, in response to that situation, he was murdered. And his head was ripped off and carried off to, you know, Gyron. Think about that for a moment. I mean, yes, there are other complexities to the situation. Absolutely. This is not a black and white. However, from the perspective of that little girl, think about what she was going through. Like I said, Vanessa has no long-term plan. She has no big overarching scheme. She does not have some big, this is what I will do to regain power thing. She just wants to hurt them. That's all she wants. She wants them to hurt. Like she hurt. And I feel a lot of sympathy for her for that. Also, I do kind of find it funny that I want to stress, once again, the Deadmines are not empty. There is still minerals and gold and resources to be had in the Deadmines. And yet, for some reason, they have allowed this place to be completely squandered and turned into a homeless den for people who have nowhere else to go. Because, I mean, really... I know at least some of the Blizzard people do think in that direction, Kingarian. Oh, you're talking about Bragwin. You're talking to Bragwin. I'll just shut up. I do know a few people think about that kind of thing. Not all of them do, though. Yeah, clearly, after all this, the only thing we can do is chop off her head. I mean, that's just logical. That's how we always resolve things in the Alliance. Vanessa would make an amazing Forsaken. Interesting. So, everyone, I'm going to throw this up. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Legion Spoilers, Inc. Attention, Legion Spoilers, Inc. If you do not want Legion spoilers, mute me, please. Attention, Legion Spoilers, Inc. This is your last warning. 3, 2, 1. Vanessa's in Legion. Yeah. Basically, she is part of a quest with regards to the rogue class chain, regardless of which spec you are. And she tries to incapacitate the rogues and go after you, the rogue leader. And she was actually planning to take it for herself. She challenges you to a single one-on-one battle. After losing, she can become the agent or be executed. She chooses to become one of our agents. And Ravenholt himself tells her his father would have been disappointed in her. So yes, Vanessa basically becomes a follower of rogues in Legion. Now I gotta wait a minute for chat to catch up, because Legion spoilers. Haters gonna hate, guys. Haters gonna hate. Alright, so, back to non-spoilers. What? Van Cleef had a daughter? I had no idea Van Cleef had a daughter. There's one thing that man was exceptionally skilled at. It was keeping secrets. How tragic. Poor thing witnessed a horrible act. Had I only known. What was that? Did you hear something? The gnolls are pulling back. Where are my guards? Holy crap! I don't like this. Stay alert. Hey look, it's Hope Saldine. You bastards will burn for what you did. Hope? Is that what I was supposed to feel when I saw my father decapitated by your henchmen? Hope is a cruel joke, played on us by a harsh and uncaring world. There is no hope. There is only Vanessa. Vanessa Van Cleef. The dawning day is upon us. Tie them up. I'm going to be over here. Admiral, your hat. Thank you, my dear. Yes, sure you. And you, Deutsch. I will spare your life. You've done much to help our cause, albeit unwittingly, but the next time we meet, it will be as enemies. Just tell me one thing, Vanessa. Why'd you have the Furboroughs killed? I had no choice, Lieutenant. They recognized me. The only people in the world who knew I existed recognized my face from when I was an infant. Which is incredibly unlikely, but whatever. I took no pleasure in their deaths. Leave nothing but ashes in your wake, brothers. Burn Sentinel Hill to the ground. So yeah, she didn't actually kill her adopted parents. She just killed people who recognized her. Her adopted parents was the Saldine group over there. Go to Stormwind. Tell King Varian everything. No, go. Run. Run. Oh, God. Quick! Stormwind. And now Sentinel Hill will be on fire forever. Seriously. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no, they decapitated my dad right in front of me. I don't know, Hylisk. I mean, I do know, but man, really? I'm starting to think the player character literally has an int of 2. Wait a minute. Oh my god, we have 51 int! That's actually higher than I was expecting it to be. I like that you gain no benefit from this stat. That didn't used to be true. Int used to increase the rate at which I would gain weapon skills. Yeah, they're going to add a lot more swearing in Kata. Fortunately, there's a couple lines that are voice acted that I don't have to say for you. Yay. Time is up. So, we all know Varian is a well-reasoned, wise, intelligent, peaceful, measured ruler. What do you think his reaction is going to be to being told that Westfall is under fire right now? I like Bragwin's answer. Kill everything. Kill the entirety of Westfall. Oh my god. The good news is we don't actually go and kill her. Like, we're not ordered to cut off her head, is what I mean by that. I mean, we're told to kill her, but not cut off her head. Slight difference. Varian. Isn't Varian already smitten with that other, with the Blood Elf whose name I can't remember? Or did that never actually materialize? I actually don't remember. By the way, I got a shield that's a broken barn door, but it was open. Embarrassing. So here's Grand Admiral Awesome. We don't get to see enough of her, but she's actually a pretty cool character. We see a little bit of her in Pandaria. Here's Greymane. Totally ignoring us, as usual. Anduin's not here. I wonder if he's on Pandaria right now. I will deploy battalions of soldiers to Westfall at once. With the Defias Brotherhood reborn, an old threat to the kingdom is renewed. Ah, it's a crossbow, so that doesn't matter. The Defias Brotherhood are not a force to be taken lightly. What you witnessed may be the birth of a ruthless organization of criminals that will stop at nothing to see Stormwind turned into rubble. Or maybe you'll just go kill them in one shot. No? Is there one? Although that is a good question. We should be hearing... What the hell?
Vorgilneus, Stormwind honors your service to the Alliance.
There we go. Wow, when did that get turned off? That's weird. Alright, guys. Time for admittedly a kind of a negative thing. Yeah, I'm really confused by that. I actually felt like she did have some voice acting. That also explains why Van Cleef's lines weren't playing. Why did that turn itself off? Do I have to just manually start checking now? Whatever, it's on now. Let me double check.
The loon be with you.
Okay, it's on. Anyways, so I really like the Westfall revamp. I'm sorry, I do. I love that that down-to-earth perspective. I love the idea of seeing, you know, the consequences of war, and it's not all glory and conquest. You know, I enjoy that. I like that.
Need help?
But Westfall made one
Go with honor, friend.
fairly significant flaw in its design. So this is actually the last quest of Westfall, the one I'm doing right now. I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. The next quest is going to be, oh, I want you to go and check out Lakeshire. I'll call for you when I'm ready for you. And I always assumed that it would work like it did in vanilla. For those of you not aware, the quest chains lined up so that you would actually start in Elwynn, go to Westfall, go to Lakeshire, do a little bit of stuff in Duskwood, back to Lakeshire, back to Westfall, and then go to the Deadmines, right? That was all part of one contiguous chain. Now, it's go to Lakeshire, and then the chain is dropped forever and never comes back. The best remade zone? South Barrens. Easily. South Barrens is amazing. And heartrending, and terrible, and awesome. I mean, there's a lot of good redone stuff, but South Barrens just leaps to the front of my mind. And so, yeah, Sentinel Hill will literally be on fire forever. Because it's just under siege now by the Defias, and this quest chain never actually finishes.
Greetings.
5 years of work burned to the ground in 5 minutes. Damn the Defias! It's totally not our fault. We have a long, hard road ahead of us. So yeah, all this sounds like this is the beginning of some big quest chain. Nope, that's it.
Be careful.
That really is it. That's the end of Westfall right there. Bam, done. I'm not kidding.
You need something?
They even give names. Look at this. All of these guys have names. So,
See you later.
we're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Yeah, the fact that the quest ended on the big climax was kind of weird, too. It's like, and then Sentinel Hill is burned to the ground, and the Defias are back. The end. Yes, I do, little Billy. Well, we know for a fact that, we do know for an absolute fact that quite a bit of content was killed in Cataclysm, because even though there's so much content in Cataclysm, it was taking so long to make it, and it was taking so much time, and they had to push out a release, so they cut quite a bit of content from vanilla, or from retail Cata, rather. But for now, let's go do Deadmines. Or VC. But not DM, because we're not doing Dire Maul. We've already done that. It's said that the Deadmines gold deposit once accounted for 1/3 of Stormwind's treasure reserves. Amidst the chaos of the First War, the mines were abandoned and later thought to be haunted, leaving them relatively untouched until the Defias Brotherhood, a group of former traitors, oh, never mind, it says laborers, turned brigands, claimed the labyrinth as a base of operations for their subversive activities against Stormwind. So I remember when this dungeon was hell in a handbasket. This place used to suck. Heroic, like I said earlier, Heroic Deadmines, in my opinion, was actually the hardest Heroic in Cata. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Shiryu. So this is Glubtog. The best part is, we'll get 2 bundles of lore for each of these bosses. You'll see what I mean. In a fit of rage, Glubtog unleashed his potent magical abilities and reduced his ogre mound to ash. Upon hearing of his destructive talents, the Defias hired the ogre mage to supervise their laborers as head foreman of the Deadmines.
Glubtog show you the power of the arcane. Fists of Flame!
Yes, this is heroic. It kind of has to be.
Group talk ready?
Let's do it! Arcane power!
This was a cool boss, actually. This is basically his soft enrage at this point here. But yeah, I have to do heroic to show off Vanessa. She literally doesn't show up in normal. So yeah.
Much power!
Is it this button? No, there we go. Ah, wrong one. Whatever. Yeah, there's an achievement to just flat out avoid all that. Also, I like the fact that the goblins here are using monkeys, and the fact that there's a mine bunny, aka someone who goes around giving refreshments to the miners and the overseers. Something about that just amuses me. See this guy? These guys suck. These guys suck. These are oaf lackeys. These guys hit like a truck. I was actually talking about these earlier. There were 2 of these, and they hit so hard that most tanks couldn't actually tank them. Like, it would be basically the tank buys the DPS time to kill one, and then the group wipes because the tank is dead, and they one-shot everything else. Those guys suck. So this is Helix, we mentioned him earlier. Formerly a craftsman in the Bilgewater cartel, he was offered a sum eclipsing anything he would ever make as a nameless horde engineer to ply his trade for the Brotherhood. He was quick to accept the job and renounce his former loyalties, just as any goblin would. Hey, buddy.
The mistress will pay me handsomely for your heads.
Somehow I doubt that.
Bombs away! I didn't need him. Not when I've got you, oafs.
So yeah, he'll actually hop on you. As an oaf.
The scales have tipped.
Yeah, pretty much, Ricky. This was a fun place to go through. What I find funny is there's very few actual Defias in here. There's mostly just people and groups that the new Defias are working with. There's something in the pipe. What? We should tell the Admiral. You tell him. No way. He gives me the creeps. I know. The way he looks at you with those hungry eyes. I'm afraid to even turn my back. I took care of the problem for them. So, this section. This section sucks in the Nightmare. This is my least favorite section of the Nightmare right here. They're alive! Run! So one player got in the Reaper. Now, it couldn't be me because I was the tank. And, yeah, you have some fun here. But up ahead, we're going to fight the Faux Reaper 5000. Defias engineers have spent many days perfecting a new harvester based on the Reaper 4000. Once completed, the Brotherhood believes this mechanized terror will be able to slice through Stormwind's armored soldiers like a scythe through wheat. Possible? I mean, you know, stranger things have happened.
Faux Reaper 5000 online. All systems nominal. Safety restrictions offline. Catastrophic system failure. System failure. Wheat clog in port 2. Shutting down.
Oh, that would be funny, Ricky. Does it even drop anymore? Yeah, that guy can literally just kill you if you don't manage him correctly with the vehicle you were supposed to pick up earlier. It's weird not having proper AoE. I guess I have chain lightning, but yeah. This was a nice touch, by the way. What's it drop off of, Zilum, just to make sure? Now. So, in the old days, you had several ways to go through this. You could lockpick it. I feel like you get the key, I'm not sure, but I know you could lockpick it. Or you could go get the thing and just blow the thing. So the only way through it this way is to blow it, so, It was a trap! I admit that caught me the first time it happened. I was like, wait, why did that... Oh my god, it was a trap! Holy crap, they actually trapped us with the way you're supposed to do it in vanilla. That's awesome. Okay, I'll start looting Defias. So here, apparently all of those parrots have become a little bit bigger than they used to be. Oh, hey, Scouts is outside. Whee. So there's the Juggernaut in color this time. And there's the giant gate that actually leads out into Stranglethorn Vale. Believe it or not. Oh yeah, and of course you fight, I can't even think of his name. Whatever, the Tauren dude here. Now you're making me angry. That guy. I gotta be honest, I've never actually killed Vanessa in a pug. Before she was nerfed. I do have to clarify, before she was nerfed. Smite! That was his name. This trash was some of my favorite trash. Why? Well, you can take the cannons. And the cannons actually did a ton of damage. And it was fun to do tons of damage. So, this is kind of funny. First, we have to fight Admiral Ripsnarl. When James Harrington became afflicted by the curse, he destroyed his career and his family in one chilling night of bloodlust. Taking on the name of Ripsnarl, he fled into Westfall, and later agreed to command the Defias Brotherhood's fearsome juggernaut, that for some reason the Alliance just left here all these years. Oh, right. Looting. Say, because I don't have that pet. Nothing. Bring it on.
Fresh meat!
Oh god, it's the butcher.
Do you feel that chill running up your spine? The fog is rolling in.
Also, this fight was kind of rough. Not super rough, but kind of rough.
I can smell your fear.
Keeping the vapors down was the big problem here.
You will not find her until it is too late.
And now it's time to fight the Defias Kingpin. Dun, 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 dun. Cookie proclaimed himself captain of the Defias Brotherhood's juggernaut, following its previous commander's death. Although he still performs his official duties as chief cook, anyone who questions the validity of his captain title has been known to come down with a severe case of food poisoning. Behold, the Defias Kingpin. No, this is not a private server. So, this was actually a really easy fight, even on Heroic. It was actually a little bit too easy. A note falls to the floor. Well, okay. Let's see what she says here. So this encounter was awesome, first time I did it, even though we failed miserably. Congratulations, adventurer. Ugh. You've managed to walk right into my trap.
I've been waiting a long time for this, you know. Biding my time, building my forces, studying the minds of my enemies. I was never very good at hand-to-hand combat, you know. Not like my father. But I always excelled at poisons. Especially venoms that affect the mind.
So yeah, this is awesome right here. If you fail this, you just die. I'll just go ahead and start with that. Oh, right, I got it. There we go.
Poor Glubtalk. When his powers manifested, his own ogre mound was the first to burn. Deep within his soul, the one thing he feared most of all was himself.
And then this area is on fire while dodging ice. I have seen several groups wipe right here. Hey, G-Juice. I would say yes, Dubheads. That's a good place to start with that. See if I remember. Yep, I was right. Note you're on a timer here, by the way. If you run out of time, it's over. Yeah, like I said, this was just really cool back in the day. Really cool. Still cool. Just not as cool.
Most rogues prefer to cloak themselves in the shadows. But not Helix. You never know what skitters in the darkness.
I don't have, like, crap for AoE, so I'm just gonna go after him.
Can you imagine the life of a machine? A simple spark can mean the difference between life and death.
Most of my pug groups died here. Some of my coordinated groups died here, too. A little bit of bad lag would lead to death, because those things pretty much just killed you. Especially if you got them into a bad way. This one was fun, right here.
Ripsnarl wasn't always a bloodthirsty savage. Once, he even had a family. He was called James Harrington. A tragedy in 3 parts.
So there's his daughter. I don't know, Hylisk. It's not just a WoW thing. I've seen that in a lot of games. There's his son. I've seen people go flying off the ship here, too, because they couldn't control this. As you can see, that's his wife that he's... yeah.
I will not share my father's fate. Your tale ends here.
Notice she has weapons from MC, by the way. Hey, WKC.
You didn't honestly give you the pleasure. Only plant one set of explosives if I'm going to die. I'm taking you all with me. My fate.
Oh, God. And she faked her death, and the loot's up there. Oh, crap. You're supposed to swing away from the deck as she blows everything up. Because, yeah. No loot! But we did it. And thus, Vanessa is dead forever, and definitely will never actually... I'm gonna shut up now. She's dead! Yay! That's the important part. That's the important thing to take away from this. Yeah, I didn't actually mean to one-shot her. I think I crit. Seriously, can we just get, like, the Horde or the Alliance or someone in here to retake this boat? There's a freaking Juggernaut. Do you know what we could use with that? Do you know what we could do with that? That's a doom machine. Anyways. Fun fact, the massive Iron Horde battleships in Warlords are actually based off of the Juggernaut design. It shouldn't surprise you. Anywho, that's it for Westfall. Vanessa's dead forever. The Defias are dead forever. We have killed a decent man and his daughter, who was basically just a victim as much as he was. I think we're the good guys. I'm having trouble telling at this point, but I do still think we're the good guys. Anyways, tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to cut it off early here. Tomorrow, we will be back to do Lakeshire and Brightwood. I mean, Duskwood, excuse me. And then, the best zone ever. Stranglethorn Vale. Yeah, anyways, I will talk to you guys later.